I'm Chris.
I'm Sandy.
And this is Parenting Autism. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 92 of the Parenting Autism podcast. Hi, Sandy.
Hey, baby. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Well, I'm a little recovering from some stress because the Eagles eked out a game against the Indianapolis Colts, but we are now 9-1, so I'm a happy camper.
Exciting, yes.
It is in our house.
Yes.
Yes. But we wanted to get on here this afternoon and catch people up. It's been a little while since we've been on here. Headlines would be, since we've recorded, we did go to the autism doctor for a follow-up appointment. We took Bryce to the Jacksonville Zoo. He started basketball with Special Olympics. I would say those are three major headlines just in the past few weeks. Oh, and we took the Briteline train down
Briteline,
to Fort Lauderdale, which was a new fun thing for him to do. So yeah, we've been kind of busy, which is why we're not on here as often as people might like, but we do our best.
As we'd like to be on
We
here
really
more
would
often.
too. I know. It's like we're always like, we got things to do. And in fact, we had everything set up because we have to set up our podcast
every time.
Every time we have all this
And we've had it set up
equipment
for
and
a week
stuff.
because we planned on doing it a week ago.
Yeah.
So.
And then life has just happened.
Yeah,
so
it's
here we
okay.
are. We're here. Yay.
Yeah.
So let's start with the doctor's visit.
Okay.
Although I know it's been a few weeks, so your memory is not as sharp as it was right when we left.
Yes, anything after a week and when you're pushing it.
I know, babe. I know. So I will say what I remember, and then if that triggers any memories for you, you can chime in.
Okay.
But I know we went up there, and one thing that the doctor did was review Bryce's blood work with us. Mm-hmm. And again, she did it in a very thorough way, and was pleased overall. Yes. I think there were a lot of things that had improved that they were looking at.
Yeah, she was pleased to hear of Bryce's progress, especially with the B12 shots. She was so happy that he is willing to do them.
She really was. Yeah.
I think even he notices a difference, so that's why he keeps doing it.
He will now ask for it, which is amazing considering how fearful he is of needles. So.
Yeah. So it was, I'd say the blood work looked good. I don't think there was anything that was out of the ordinary on the blood work that she did. And we'll be doing like follow-up blood work next time probably, just to double check his vitamin D level and a couple other things that are just...
Yeah, we're just looking for deficiencies.
Yeah, because he was deficient at some point.
Things that are excessive that we need to adjust.
Oh, yeah, and iron, should be checking that. But in any case, again, she was pleased with his progress. And what was I going to say?
I'm being quiet so I don't steal your thoughts. Very quiet.
It just flew out of my brain.
Well, if it comes back, you can share it.
Yeah.
We also went over supplements.
Oh, I know what it was.
Okay, good.
His so we've been battling constipation for a long time. Yeah. So I think she put us on a different probiotic, something called motility something.
I have no idea.
But in any case, that hasn't helped either. So just in these past 3 weeks. So she was telling us to start, like we had 2 new things or 3 new things we were starting this time. She's like, just wait, 4 days between starting each thing so you can see if there's a difference.
Right.
And, it's been 3 weeks almost since we started the new probiotic that she gave us, and that has not helped his poops. So he is still constipated. And what other podcast can you talk about poops on? I don't know. So I think, there are improvements in his diet to where we can get more fiber into him. I think there is room for improvement in that. So we will just be working on that a little more. And I think that is the...
Was there something else that we started? Because we really talked to her about his anxiety and our concerns with that because, that spiked up a bit. And I know we started him back on the holy basil, and
that helped
shared
a lot,
that the last time, which was great. And we have seen large improvements.
The other thing was that she upped his dose of naltrexone at night. So
that's the other thing.
Yeah, we went from 1.5 milligrams to 4.5 milligrams.
Okay, so then was that the adjustment that we made, and then he became kind of vulnerable and was crying? Like 3 days in a row, I had real tears.
Like, when was that?
Last Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
I don't know.
There was something that we had changed because you said, okay, we'd had to kind of just watch because it might make him more tired, I think was what she was saying. And because he was more tired, I think it made him more susceptible to his feelings and crying.
That might have been naltrexone, but I haven't changed that, so he's still on the
Yeah. It was. I think it was just that adjustment period because it was 3 days in a row he cried at soccer. I mean, these are things that wouldn't typically make him have a heartfelt cry and tears pouring down his face, and not just for attention. It was because he was truly sad.
And again, I don't know if it was the naltrexone or just maybe he went through a patch of moodiness. Who knows?
That could be too.
That could be. Chalk it up to life.
Yeah. But thankfully,
yeah,
it hasn't been every day now, so that's
good.
So
the other thing that happened was the hyperbaric chamber at the doctor.
Yes.
So when you go to her, she gives you 2 free, what they call dives into the chamber. So first time you went with Bryce.
Correct.
And
it was fine.
Everything was fine. Bryce was happy. He was happy to have mommy time, and he was just happy. He said it was relaxing for him.
Yes.
So this time,
I would not.
You had some work to do.
Yes, I did.
And I'm like, well, I'll do it with him. Maybe it'll help me in some way. So was Bryce in there first? Bryce got in first. Mm-hmm. And then I was getting in. And there was enough room for both of us, but it was tight. It was. And I said, the girl's like, okay, I'm going to, zip you in, and then I'll come back and check on you or and then it'll be, I don't know, an hour, and then you'll be out. So I went to the bathroom, of course, before I got in. So then I'm like, and you can hear the machine. It's like going, shh, right? So
and I'm taking pictures.
And you're taking pictures, yeah.
Got you guys in the chamber.
So I'm stepping in. That's fine. I'm sitting down. That's fine. I'm starting to lay down, and she's reaching for the zipper. And I think that's when it hit me. I'm like, wait a minute, wait.
You said, I don't think I can do this.
I said, well, I had to have the whole conversation like, what if, I'll just text Sandy if I need anything, I don't know if that was in my head or
that was
out
in
loud.
Your head, because all you said was, I don't think I can do this.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
I mean, I think I heard the first couple of the zipper coming across. I'm like, hold on. I don't think I can do this because I don't know, maybe between the sound and the amount of space that I had.
Was it like a claustrophobic feeling?
Totally. And I had never been claustrophobic before, ever.
Right. I mean, not with me.
I've had
in my
MRIs
knowledge.
done.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just, I've never been in a submarine, but.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have,
yes,
haven't we?
We did that on a cruise.
Yes. So I have been in a submarine, but I can't explain it. I thought I felt panicked because
I know.
What happens if I need to get out? What do I do? How do I do it?
I think you even asked her that question.
And that's what she said.
Yeah.
She said, a lot of people are claustrophobic or can be claustrophobic because they don't know how the whole thing works. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to get out, if they need to get out. And she said, you'll learn this when you get your machine, how to get out by yourself. So you can do the whole thing by yourself. It's just kind of a different way of zipping it.
Okay.
And shutting the valves and stuff. So she says, once you learn, like she explained it to me, but I still wasn't comfortable enough going in. And but she said, once you learn that and I guess get used to it, then you won't be claustrophobic. Yes. But I was very surprised. I was a little embarrassed,
It's okay.
But we had to.
We
switched.
So let me just say that the first time I took a dive with him, it was very relaxing. The second time I took a dive with him, it was not what I would define as relaxing because I did have this time-sensitive work task that I was going to be doing while you were in there. So I said, All right, you're on. I need you to figure out how to get this hotspot, blah, 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 blah. So you're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, we had a deadline. We had to get it done. So I had my phone in there with Bryce, and there was all kinds of texting going on, and me and you were texting back and forth because you were trying to get it done.
Yeah.
And then I had other issues with work going on. And then, more importantly, when we first got in there, the pressure in there was getting Bryce's ears.
Yeah.
And he did not have that problem the first time. And so he said to me, I need to get out. And I'm like, are you sure you need to get out?
Listen, that's why God did not put me in there with him
because
that
you'd
time.
Have been like...
because I was already like, how do I get out of this thing? And if he would have said, Daddy, I got to get out, that would have been bad news.
Yeah, that's true. Because he did. And then he didn't say that the last time. So he's like, Mommy, I need to get out. And I'm like, well, why do you need to get out? And he said, my ears hurt. And I'm thinking, okay, he does get pressure in his ears, like in the mountains or if we're on an airplane. So I said, okay, open your mouth, kind of the same instructions if you need to pop your ears. And then he was trying it, and he's like, it's not working. So I knocked on the thing, and the girl was still there, and she could hear me. And I said, it's hurting his ears. So she said, well, maybe, okay, let me adjust it. And so she adjusted it, and then it still wasn't good enough for him. And he said it was still hurting him. And so she made one more adjustment. She goes, okay, I'm going to take it down. So she must have tried to get the pressure up. Mm-hmm. And so then she took it down to a level that he was okay. But we did have to have those two adjustments this time for him to get comfortable. And then once he told me that he was okay and he was comfortable, then he was good the rest of the ride.
Okay.
So it was good. So, yeah, I just didn't get to relax at all, but that's okay. It was a little crazy and hectic, but we did it, and ta-da!
Ta-da!
So, again, we don't know how much that helps Bryce, but now that does put a different perspective on it for us bringing it home, because I know the original conversation and instruction was have him be in that thing as much as possible.
Right.
And he can't be in it by himself. So if we can't take turns, then we'd have to really try to work that out to make it worthwhile, because it's an extremely expensive investment to do. Yeah. And it can't be like I'm in there all the time with him, because I don't think that would realistically work either. And I'm not going to put him in there by himself, because if the doctor's office doesn't trust having a child in there by themselves, then we're certainly not going to do it.
Well, I mean,
because we're not experts with it.
You don't want him in there by himself for a number of reasons, but it is expensive. It's ballpark. It's like $3,000.
Isn't it going to be that for us to rent it for a month?
For 2 to 3 months, yeah.
Oh, that was for 2 to 3 months?
Yeah. So, or is that per month? No, it wasn't per month.
I don't know.
It was
a lot,
total,
though.
Yeah. So anyway, we're still looking at that.
So that was our experience. I know somebody had asked us, what exactly does that mean and what does it do? But it's just where you get pure oxygen. Is that correct?
Yes, and the pressure helps the oxygen get into your cells. So
it's used a lot by people who, like athletes who have concussions.
Well, there's two types of
they
chambers.
Use it.
There's a soft chamber and there's a hard chamber.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times a hospital will have a hard chamber. And what they use that for is when a diver goes down and is diving, and we live here on the coast, so there's a lot of people that dive. When they go down with their tanks and they surface too quickly, they get what's called the bends, and I guess that can be really bad.
Okay.
So they rush them to one of these hard chambers to repressurize the chamber and then slowly let the pressure off.
To help their brain?
Is it
I
don't
for their
know
brain
if
or
it's the
their
brain
cells?
or their body.
Oh, wow.
Something really goes wrong
Okay.
if you're diving deep in the ocean and that you come up too quickly. I haven't researched that, but
Yeah.
So then they make soft chambers also, and she said that because of his condition, that we should do soft chamber only, and that would help his brain from his stroke,
Right.
and it could also help his autism.
Right.
So
we got two reasons why it piques our interest for Bryce.
yeah, and the soft chamber is a lower pressure. So
Right.
hard chamber is high pressure. The soft chamber, I think, I don't
I wouldn't
remember
even
the
know.
setting. Yeah.
But anyway, so that was another experience that we just recently had. And the day before we went to the doctor, we went up, because where the doctor's is like a few hours from where we live. So we wanted to make a weekend of it. So we went up Saturday night and then took Bryce to the Jacksonville Zoo on Sunday before his appointment on Monday, which was a really great experience. And I have to say that he was even more engaged this time at the zoo with the animals and true interests than he was when we went to the Tampa Zoo in last January. And I thought he had improved a lot in 6 months when we went to, when we went to the zoo the last time. But this time he knew
what animals he wanted to see.
He took interest. He got to feed the giraffes. He loved that. And they had these gorillas there that were really active, really, really active. And a little baby gorilla who was so stinking cute. So he took a lot of interest in that. Like, he didn't want to just leave and go to the next thing, and he didn't miss his electronics at all.
Right.
He wanted to stay longer. And that's a big sign for him, because he's usually thinking, when am I going to get back to my Switch? But he wasn't. He was very, very much engaged. And it was a great day because it was overcast. The weather was cooler. There was no rain. We were able to get a scooter for you because you're still recovering from your foot surgery. And so it was great. Oh, and then they had this train, which Bryce loves trains too. And so they had a train that took you kind of behind the scenes. He actually really took interest in that too, like where they house some of the animals, and and he wanted to hear what they were saying from the speaker, because he told me that I needed to be quiet, basically, so he could hear. So I knew that he was really, really engaged in that, and that was great. So that was a really great zoo experience for him, and I'm excited because I do enjoy going to the zoos, and I think it's good for him and educational and things like that. So
he got to feed the stingray. That was a highlight.
Oh, that was right. So that was another new experience for him, feeding the stingray, because he got to pet one when we went to the aquarium last year or earlier, whatever, January. But
we got there right at the tail end of feeding.
Yeah.
And we were worried that we missed it.
We were. So, oh my gosh, we booked through that zoo to try to get to the other side because he had wanted to see the tigers. So we made it there, and then I'm like, oh my goodness, are you still feeding? And she's like, yeah, I have a lot of food left, because it's a first come, first serve basis. And it was a lighter crowd that day. So she, continuously gave him food to feed them, and he got to do it so many times.
But he was so
loved it.
That was probably his highlight.
I think that was a
that and the giraffe feeding.
Yeah, he really loved those. So it was a great day. Yeah, it really, really was. So that was a great experience. And then I had mentioned that we went on the Briteline train. So when Bryce had his birthday, he has a lot of toys and games and things that people buy for him, you know. We have a lot of family and stuff. So you and I try to get him more things like experiences.
That's kind of what we've always done, even with the nieces and nephews.
Exactly. We love experiences and special time. And Bryce's memory is very patchy, is a good way to describe it. And you never know what he's going to remember and what he's not. But to me, I don't even really care if he doesn't remember it 5 years from now. If he's enjoying it in that moment and he's having a great day, then that's rewarding for me, you know, to create those experiences. So where we live, we have to drive about an hour down to Palm Beach to get the Briteline train. And then the train will take us down to either Fort Lauderdale or Miami. We did Fort Lauderdale. And that was part of his birthday gift. And where did we take him to?
We took him to a hotel in Fort Lauderdale, so that was within walking distance of the train station. So he was very excited to ride the train. He was worried about where the train horn was and how loud it would be inside.
Oh,
when we
I
were
didn't know that
train.
conversation.
Yes. So,
okay.
We were in an elevated train station, so when the train pulled in, we could actually see the horns on top of the train. And he kept asking, "Where's the horns, Daddy?" So I pointed to them, and he says, "Will it be loud inside?" I said, "No, I don't think it will be." So that, and there was an escalator there taking us from the first floor to the second floor, and he loved that.
I mean, there were so many things for him to love. I think we had to use an elevator in the parking garage. Then he got the escalator. Then he got the train. Mm-hmm. Then he got another escalator when we got there. And then we got to the hotel, and I believe we stayed on the 22nd floor. So he was very excited about that, because the higher the hotel, the happier Bryce is. So it was a really great experience. It was our 18th wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary, my love.
Thank you very much.
And so it was just a nice weekend away for us. It was a one-night thing, but we just really enjoyed it and just enjoyed the hotel. Took Bryce for a hotel tour, but I guess it won't get posted because
his iPad died.
And we lost him.
Yeah, so.
But it was fun. He had the fun experience, and that was great. And then another thing that we started in the past few weeks was Special Olympics with basketball. So we started it the weekend before we went away. So he's really loving that.
He is loving it, and he's gotten so much better. I mean, we've been there 3 times.
Yeah.
And the first time he could hardly bounce the ball, and now he's dribbling in a line.
Yeah.
And he was having a hard time getting the ball up to the basket. Well, now he's having no trouble getting it up that high. It's just getting it to the basket, and he did make a basket this last time. And they do what's called wall ball, where you throw it at the wall, it bounces off the wall, and it comes back to you. And he's doing that perfectly now. And we even saw one of his friends there, Reese.
Yep.
So Reese was so happy to see him, and they gave a big hug at the end. So that was really nice too.
Yeah. We're really thrilled that we now have that opportunity up here. Maybe we did mention the last time he might have just started it, but just to see his improvement, this in 3 times, and he asks for it. He's really excited to go. And he told me last Saturday, "Mommy, I don't think I can do soccer. Doing basketball and soccer in one weekend might be too much." What's he always call it? Master difficulty for me.
Yeah. He's been pretty funny.
He is funny.
He asked me today if I was doing sarcasm, and I was, and he recognized it. So I'm proud of him.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. But he was trying to get out of soccer. I said, "No, it's important that you go and finish
soccer,
it."
Yeah.
Yeah. He tried to wiggle out of his excuses. So I will be too hot and sweaty. I said, well, I'll have plenty of water for you.
I will tell you that this basketball has been really good for his muscles because he even says it's an hour and a half long.
It is.
So after an hour, he's like, Daddy, I can't do it anymore.
That's about his tolerance each week.
So,
yeah.
And it's not because he doesn't want to. It's his muscles. So he's building those muscles that, in his arms and then his legs. And
you and I agreed, okay, so it is 90 minutes. And each time he's kind of out after 60 minutes. So we said, well, that's okay. We'll let him stop after that. But our goal is that we can maybe add another 5 minutes each time until we can get him to that full 90.
Well, this time we were there.
How long did you go?
Yeah, we were there an hour and 15.
Excellent. So you extended it another 15.
And I think everybody else was at that point at an hour and 15. So that's when we wrapped up the whole team.
Oh, perfect. So, yeah. I missed yesterday because I had mommy time.
Yeah.
Or I should say girl time. I wasn't. I went and saw the musical Gloria Estefan's. I don't remember the name of it, but it's about her life story. And it was really good. And I went with one of my best friends from high school. So, it's important that we are able to do those things for ourselves too. And so on those lines.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Bryce has me on a clock right now and is watching my every move very closely because I had an unexpected work trip that came up and I had to actually fly to Indiana to take care of some work issues with my brother and then fly back. So I was gone for 2 nights and I knew Bryce would be worried that I was leaving and upset, because I don't leave very often. And I didn't want to ruin our weekend when we went down to the hotel. So I made the decision to not tell him that I was leaving until we were on the train on the way back. And I was actually being picked up at the train station to go to the airport. So when I told him, he was just like, what?
Oh, yeah.
And then his biggest concern initially was, well, if your hotel has more than 22 floors, then I'm going to be really mad. Because we had just stayed in a high rise. I'm like, you don't have to worry about that. I won't be on a high floor. So
yeah, we really didn't prep him for that trip.
We didn't. And again, it was such a short notice. It was a spontaneous trip decision. And I knew there weren't days for him to get used to it. And it would have really impacted our weekend if I had told him before.
That's true. He would have just perseverated.
Totally. So, I did it that way. And I apologize to you again that you had to ride home with him while he's going, this is unbelievable. Yeah. Isn't that what you told me he said?
This is unbelievable.
Oh, my gosh. So, he only had about 15 to 20 minutes to process it with me still with him. Yeah. So he was asking me how long I would be gone. And I told him, that I would be back on Monday night. And, he was kind of digesting all of that. So you said he did well. Like once you got home, because I said to you, go get him Domino's gluten-free pizza. He knows it's Sunday, and that'll take his mind off of it. And then and then he settled in. He did. Well, he did. And so when I got back, he has been keeping a close eye on me very closely, and every day, I missed you, Mommy. He's asked me again this morning before church, so do you like going on vacation to Indiana without me? And
Did he say that?
No, he didn't say it that way. He goes, do you like to go on vacation with Uncle Randy to Indiana? And I said, well, it was okay, but I like to go on vacation with you and Daddy more, so I'd rather do that. Mm-hmm. And he says, oh, okay. So
well, he was concerned about you going on this little thing to go see the show with your friend.
Yeah. So then when I said I was going to go spend the day with Miss Lori, then he says, oh, well, where are you going? And why can't I go kind of thing.
Right.
So I said, well, we're going to a musical, but it's in an auditorium and it's very loud.
He said something about you going on all these trips.
Yeah, he thinks I'm doing all this stuff without him. So it's like, anyway. So I told him it was an auditorium. And I said, you wouldn't like that because there's live music and you're not on the stage. So, it would be loud for your ears. And they clap a lot They clap a lot in the auditorium. So would you like that? No. Okay, that's what I thought. So that's why I'm going to go with Miss Lori. And we're going to be doing shopping. And do you like to go shopping? No. Okay. So that's why I'm not taking you on this trip. This is something that I like to do that you don't like to do. So I'm going to do it with Miss Lori. Well, how long will you be gone? So if you give Bryce a number, trust me, he is sticking to it. Yeah, you guys stick to it and honor it. So I was kind of do the math in my head. So I told him it would be 10 to 12 hours. And so when I was getting ready to leave, she had arrived and I said, okay, I'll see you in a little bit. And he goes, no, you won't. It won't be a little bit. It will be 10 to 12 hours.
I heard you guys laughing.
Oh, goodness. I said, well, you're right. Okay, I'll see you later.
So I guess it's okay for Daddy to go on trips. But
so I said to him, so he goes, you can't go on any more trips. And I said, oh, okay, well, is it okay for Daddy to go on a trip? And he goes, yes, he goes to Maryland every year with his friends. So you're established and free to go. Congratulations.
I guess once you get the date on a revolving schedule, it's better.
I guess so. I got to work that out. Yeah. So anyway.
That's pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. Yeah. Super cute. And he has told me probably every day since I've been back last week, I really missed you, Mommy. Oh, yeah. And I know he did.
Lots of love there.
Yeah. And then this morning, interesting enough, at church, we go to a very large church and we have a large size auditorium. I think it seats 2,000. It's large. And he doesn't like to go in there because he knows it's loud. And
well, we took him in one time. I don't know how many months
ago. They had a
movie.
Oh, yeah. Another time to hear the music.
Yeah.
That was quite a while ago.
So his drum teacher plays the drums, and we took him in there
with headphones.
One time with headphones. Yep. And we sat for a little bit in the third row or second row or whatever to near his drum teacher so that he could watch him play drums. And he was in there maybe 15 minutes, and he said, okay, I'm ready to go. Mm-hmm. So we took him out and put him in with the rest of the kids. Yeah.
So this morning, after we get him out of his classroom, he said he wanted to go to the auditorium. And so it was in between services, so we were able to take him in, and you showed him how the equipment works, and he wanted to go all the way up the stairs to the top and then all the way down, and we thought we were okay. And then he wasn't saying anything. So
yeah, we got outside and he says, I couldn't say anything in the auditorium. And I don't even know why.
I don't know why either. And then he wanted to go back in and use his words. That's what he said. I need to go back in and use my words. I want to go in again. Well, we told him, okay, well, the service has started now. So there's going to be music.
We said we'll go next week.
Yeah, and we tried to say next week.
No, I don't need to go now. And we knew that if we didn't go now, that we really wouldn't be able to undo that. So I took him in, and I took him all the way up to the stage, and I showed him the stage and the speakers and the keyboard and the piano and the drums. And he was asking me how Mr. Bruno gets into the drum set because it's like in a cage type thing, and explained that to him. And I showed him the countdown clock on the big screen. He's like, what's that? I said, well, that's the countdown to the next service. The next service is going to start. He said, okay. I said, do you want to be in here when it starts? He says, yes. I'm like, okay. So I texted you. You're still out in the truck. I said, he wants to see the service start. I said, okay.
Okay, I'll come in.
So let's go and sit down. And he says, no, Daddy, I want to stand. I said, okay. So we were standing, and they came out and they introduced everything and started playing the music. And when
did he cover his ears?
Yeah, as soon as she started speaking, the hands went over the ears, but he was not worried. He did it himself, and he listened to the music for a little bit, and then he was ready to go.
Yeah, because when I came in, he did not have his ears covered.
Right. So we were on our way out. You were on your way in.
Yeah.
And he's
good.
He said something there, and I just forgot what he said. But
he said it was cool.
Oh, he asked, is that a recorded? Is that recorded music?
He did say that. He did say that.
I said, no, that's live. I said, they're playing those instruments right now. And so he's
Yeah.
like, oh,
And he goes, that's cool. Yeah, that's what he said. That's
So-
cool.
And
So,
everything was fine.
I think, it's hard to figure all things out, but I really think part of the reason why he wanted to go into the auditorium today was because he knew he couldn't go with me yesterday because I told him he wouldn't like the auditorium because it would be too loud. So that's like his way of trying to work through fears and learn more and understand it. So it was interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we never know what's going on in that little brain of his, but although he does tell us a lot. So are you ready to bring in our little cutie pie and ask him some questions?
So
tell him what you got there.
I got this thing, and I got it off of Amazon. It's called Talking Points card. I had to look around
It's
the
okay.
corner there. Talking Points cards for kids. So it's this box of cards with questions on it. And I thought these are good conversation starters that we can use with ABA, socialization, and even bringing him in and answering some of these questions.
Yes, because I did make a note to share on here that Bryce has been telling us that his ABA work has been hard for him, and it's conversations specifically that are very hard for him. Mm-hmm. And the reality is, it is hard for him to come up with conversations and learn how to use those. Even with family, he saw my mom outside at work, and he didn't even know how to have a conversation with her. He says, I can talk to her in her house. Mm-hmm. So he didn't know how to talk to her at work because it was a different space.
Different setting.
Yeah. So he told me, I can talk to her at her house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. And he's just told me that's really hard. So that is something that's a high priority we're working on. So I'm glad you got something like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. He said he agreed to do the podcast today, but a few weeks ago when we asked him if he wanted to talk on the podcast, he said, I think I can't do that until I'm an adult when I'm 18.
Yeah.
But
so
I think he's going to. So let's see how this rolls.
The other last thing I want to throw in there before we wrap is that we're talking about getting an additional phone line for the show. Mm-hmm. So we're working on getting a phone line to where our listeners can call us and text us. So, and even through the WhatsApp, I suppose we could do that for people that are overseas.
Correct.
So
Correct.
That's exciting. So if you guys need to talk to us or text us, you'll be able to do that.
Well, I was going to say it. So, like, sometimes you wonder if these are good ideas or not. Mm-hmm. And you said that it was laid on your heart that, I think maybe we should have a way that they can just talk to us if they need us, or if they have questions. And it helps to talk, and be on this journey with people. So, and we've even kicked around, maybe doing coaching to help families, especially that are earlier on their journey because we've been through this so much. Mm-hmm. So I said, all right, I think that's a good idea. And then you called AT&T to see how that would be. And it was like, we ended up saving all this money if we added the third line. It was crazy. It's something we couldn't even believe.
It was going to pay for itself.
Yeah, it's going to pay for itself. So I'm like, okay, I think that's a no-brainer and a clear sign that we're meant to do this. So
next show, we should have a phone number for everybody.
So we're excited to offer that.
And don't be scared to reach out to us. We had another listener say that we responded to an email on, and she's like, oh, I didn't know that you were going to respond. You guys are like celebrities, but
she was like, I know you're really people.
Yeah.
And we are.
Yeah. We're just regular people, and that have a passion for autism.
Yeah. And helping others. And even if we can't get back right away, we will carve out time in our week that we know we're going to respond to people. Mm-hmm. And that's how we're going to do it. Yeah. So we're excited about that. And then I also just finished the book draft, which I posted on our Parenting Autism page on Facebook. So I'm really excited about that.
You didn't finish the book draft on the Facebook page. You just posted the picture, right?
I posted the book cover.
Yeah.
No, I didn't put the draft out there. I might put like little
excerpts.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
As we kind of go along. But
that's exciting.
We're working on it. So just so you know, as listeners, so it's mainly about the early years and just how we've gotten through this journey and what, how we have found hope and peace on our journey, and we hope other people can find it too. And I'm going to have you go back through, because I've been doing all the writing, and then you and I are going to go get a room somewhere so we can really concentrate on it and finish it out. And I want you to read it. And then as you chime in, I'm going to write all that down. And then we're going to add your thoughts into the book. So it's really me and you sharing.
Okay.
So we're really excited about that.
That's awesome. All right. Let's bring Bryce in. We'll pause here and I'll get him and we'll do it.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we're here with Bryce. Hi, Bryce.
Hi.
Why don't you tell everybody what you just did?
I decided it was in the lead, but I just turned it to second place because somebody catched up.
And what were you playing?
And now it's playing Mario Kart Deluxe for the Switch.
Is that your favorite game
Yes.
right now? Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay, you ready to answer?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of art do you like?
Glue art.
Okay. All right, let's get a little closer to the microphone. So you like glue art? What do you like about the glue art?
What I like about the glue art is squeezing the glue and seeing what it looks like.
Oh.
That's cool.
And what's your favorite glue to use?
5 means gold, 4 means silver, 3 means clear, and 1 is white.
So I'm going to guess 5. Yep.
Yep.
He held up 5 fingers. Okay. So I'm not sure you'll be able to answer this question, but at what age do you think kids should have a cell phone?
12 years old.
Why do you think 12 years old?
That's okay.
Why do you think 12?
I don't know.
Okay.
How do you think?
All right. Let's see what else we got here. If you could have any animal as a pet, which animal would you choose?
I would choose a giraffe.
A giraffe?
No, I'm using...
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite.
Why would you choose a giraffe?
No, it's a doggy.
Oh, a doggy?
For a pet.
Yes.
And what would you like about a doggy?
He could lick me.
Oh, he could lick you? Okay, that's a good answer. I like that answer.
I think that's all that I'm thinking about for today.
Oh, is that all the questions you want to do?
How about one more?
How about
Can you do
one more?
one more and then we wrap up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What is your favorite movie? Speaking.
My favorite movie is, it's a very good question. I think it's Wally the Robot.
Wall-E. Yeah. And what do you like about Wall-E?
I like about the spaceship launching.
Oh, you like it launching?
Yes.
Like when it takes off from Earth?
Yes.
And what else do you like about it?
And, I just like how it's going up very fast.
Yeah. You watch that a lot, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of your favorites. All right, well, thanks for talking to everybody on the show, Bryce.
Yep, you're welcome.
What do you want to say to them?
Bye.
Okay, maybe have a great week.
Have a great week.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk to you later.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. I'll let you go. Good job, buddy. Eagles won. That's my boy wanting to know if the Eagles won the game or not. Come on.
Okay.
One last thing that I wanted to just share is when we were in church today, it was a really good message, and it was about Thanksgiving, with Thanksgiving being this coming week, and all the things we can be grateful for. And one of the verses that he shared with us just really spoke to me, and I thought would be good to share with our listeners. So I gotta put my glasses on. Oh, I don't know where they are. I'm going to try to
Here,
read this.
I'll read it.
Good, you read it because I'm blind.
Okay. He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. Philippians 1:6.
Yeah. And the reason why that spoke to me is in the book, actually, I'm writing a final chapter that is kind of letting people have a peek into Bryce's life now and where he's at age 9. And I try to start each chapter with a verse. And I feel like that's just kind of where we're at. God has created Bryce in this wonderful, unique way that he has, and he's going to finish his good work in Bryce, however that turns out. And that's with all of our children, that God has a special plan and he's going to carry it out. And we're just here to kind of help facilitate that and do our best as the chosen parents for these special kids.
Train up a child
in the way he should go.
Yeah.
And when he is old, he won't depart from it. So,
that's right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So anyway, I wanted to share that today. And with Thanksgiving, I just want to say that we're so thankful that we're able to do this podcast. We're so thankful that we have so many listeners, and we know that we do because we hear from you. And we're so thankful that we're making a positive impact in so many lives by sharing our journey. And if we can bring good out of this, like God brings good out of all things, that's what we're just trying to do. And we're very, very thankful for each of you for even listening in today. And my heart is full of gratitude.
That's awesome. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay.
All right. Well, signing off.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next time.
Next time. Okay. Bye.
Bye.